screams louder.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Facebook Marketplace strikes again. We got the new truck, we got the old trailer. We just dropped off my Civic at the dyno. I ran across this thing, which just so happens a Mustang dyno. So this is a MD 250. I'm not sure on the horsepower rating or anything like that, but it is in the ground, and I bought it. We are gonna try to get it out of the ground, unbolt it, pick it up. The controller, this is a Windows 98 computer, but it actually works. So you can see if you roll this thing, it moves. It makes numbers. There's this little controller on the wall right here. There's some wiring that goes down into that tube, which then goes into here. And then I've never messed with a dyno before. We're gonna unbolt this stuff. I think there's some lag bolts in there. And then there's a forklift, or not a forklift, there is a skid steer available here. And then we're gonna try to get it out of here and onto the trailer, and hopefully leave enough room to bring the Civic back home as well. So the computer powered on and everything seems like it works. It is kind of shallow. It's probably only 1.5 feet. So my plan is to hopefully just mount it on the ground above. That's just crazy. So it has basically the big eddy brake, and then it has this weight, speed sensor, has it all, and then we have some giant bolts. And it looks like maybe some Black Widows down there too. Bottle jack or some bottle jack in the middle, yeah, you're right, and pump it up. Studs a little bit. Yeah. So this thing isn't moving one bit with a skid steer, and so this pry bar was one laying around. I literally put a little bend in it, just prying on it, trying to get it out. So I don't know how we're gonna get this thing out, but I don't think it's gonna be the hour or two thought it was gonna take to get this thing picked up. All right, so skid steer was not cutting it, and so we have somebody locally. Do you want to be in the video? Local buddy up here, Brandon. He does a lot of Evo stuff. When I was building the Evo wagon, he had some stuff listed on Marketplace, and I started bugging him about parts, and turns out he's just like me, where he has a bunch of parts, a bunch of cars, but he never wants to sell them, right?
Nope.
But he has a shop up here, pretty local, really close to here, so I messaged him, and I was like, hey, what are you doing today? He's like, oh, I'm just doing this. I was like, oh, I'm just over here at dyno. Sent him the address. He's like, oh, I'll be right there. So his landlord actually has a 16,000 pound forklift and is a couple blocks away. So he is on his way here right now. So we are loading up this ancient computer and gonna get this thing all loaded up in the truck, and then move a couple of these things out of the way, and then hopefully that forklift has enough sack to get this thing up and on the trailer. So I think we severely underestimated this dyno and how much it weighs. I think it probably weighs at least 5,000, maybe 6, maybe 7, at least making some progress. So we just left and got the dyno all hooked up, and huge shout out to Brandon. How you doing?
I'm good.
So he's kind of an internet friend. We've never actually met each other in person, but we've been talking because he was actually trying to sell me this Evo shell a long time ago. Literally, he had that for sale on Marketplace, or maybe it was another one, or you're selling diffs or something. I was messaging him. I was like, hey, I need a whole car so I could build an Evo wagon. So like we went back and forth back then. I ended up finding a wrecked one. We stopped talking to each other because I wasn't gonna buy anything from him anymore. But then recently, he's got into 335Ds. I've gotten to 335Ds. And so as you can see right here, he actually has a parts car. So we were bonding over Evos on the internet, and now we bonded over 335s. Without him, I wouldn't have got this dyno today probably, because his landlord was the one with the forklift. So he called around and used his little circle of people up here to get me the dyno loaded up. So it worked out really good.
Yes, sir.
But and I just stole some parts. Well, actually, I'm buying some parts. He hasn't given me a price yet. We're like the same person. I made him an offer before and he's like, nope, not that, you know. But I was like, give me a price. He's like, no, I'm not giving you a price. So it's just funny because I feel like we're like the same, like where we have a bunch of parts, but we don't want to sell them. He does a lot of work on Evos, and he has a Duramax Suburban. He's got some cool stuff, but he has this exhaust right here, which I need for my 335. He has this side skirt, this little strut bar, and I think you have some other parts.
Yep.
Well, I've been looking at this thing, and I want to bring I need the steering wheel, actually, the rear seats fold down. That's a big deal.
Yes,
That's a big deal on a heated steering wheel. So we're gonna go look at his other car too. But hey, I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're over here looking at a 335D. I was literally trying to buy this car. Like, how long ago was that?
3 months ago? 4 months?
3 months ago, I was out of town. I think I was in Florida. I was in Florida for the LZ Invitational, and I seen that, and it was literally like 20 minutes from my house, and it was like an hour and a half from you. Yeah. He got it, and then now he's teasing me with it again. I seen a hood stack, and I said, what's this thing? Freaking, is this a Colt or the Mirage? This unit, freaking giant turbo, all-wheel drive. Freaking look at that fuel pump right there. That's freaking insane. How much power did this thing make?
We had the 6466 and it made 666.
This thing's sick. Obviously some sort of a race car. He's got an X5 35D. So he's got Mitsubishi's. Look at this. You've even got a TDI Jetta. Is that yours?
Yeah.
Another TDI Jetta. Oh my goodness. Look, Evo. It's so funny. It's so funny. But this is cool. I think you guys need to comment and let me know. Tell him that he needs to pull this thing, at least clean it up, get it driving, and sell it to me or something like that. Because this would be freaking cool. Imagine this ripping again.
It ran 10s, low 10s.
What does it need to run?
Time and tuned.
Time and tune. Okay, so how are these TDIs doing? Did you see my TDI Ranger swap video?
Yes, I did.
What did it give you some ideas?
I wanted to do one. My buddy has a 4Runner I want to do, but he's not giving it up either. So.
Yeah. So he let me drive his 335D because mine's really slow right now, and now I need to fix mine. This thing makes like, what do you say, 590 foot-pounds of torque?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
All right, so after all of that, the dyno is loaded up. It's in the middle of the trailer. We were gonna stop and pick up the Civic at the dyno, but Steve actually had to go home, so I'll go and get that tomorrow. But technically, we could have fit them both on here. But as of now, this thing is the only thing on here coming home. I got some BMW diesel parts. I got a side skirt and a couple other little things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna make the drive home. All right, so the other night I backed in the trailer into the shop just so the dyno, you know, it's not exposed. It's never been outside as far as I know, and I don't want to like mess anything up. I got the computer kind of stuffed back in its little area. Still haven't plugged any of that stuff in, and one of my buddies actually really good with computer stuff, so he's actually gonna come and make like a full backup of that whole system. So now comes the issue of where do we put this freaking dyno? Couple different options. Over here in this side of the shop, obviously we have 2-post lift, door over there, door right here, but literally this dyno would take up this whole entire bay right here unless we dug a hole and put it in the ground, and then that would actually be kind of cool. But on this side of the shop, we have this little door. I believe this is a 8x8 door. So kind of small. It would work for like trucks and things like that. But the size of the dyno, I think it would have to go all the way up against the edge, which I guess technically this almost goes all the way up against the edge. So if we really wanted to, we could put the dyno maybe like right here or something, and then have a 4-post lift to get it on. But I think the best option for now might be the new door. So when we moved into the shop, didn't have this door. Landlord ended up installing this door for us. So we have a new door over here. I think this one is 10 wide by 12 tall. So it's a lot bigger. You could fit trucks, dualies, things like that. And that was initially gonna be, you know, to where like we could pull the forklift in this side. We could do, you know, trucks, bigger trucks, RVs, you know, things, whatever we wanted to do. Could back in the trailer over here if we wanted. Thinking about it, and I think it might actually work really well if we put a 4-post lift right where the Corvette is, and then we put the dyno right here. You know, we do have a paint booth, but we're not like a paint and body shop. Like we do paint cars, but it's not like we do it every day. If we have like a diesel truck in here and it's backed in and the dyno's right here, it's gonna blow smoke this way, which we could turn on the booth and then it'll suck it out potentially. If we have a car here, it'll shoot the exhaust here, but we could open the door and put a fan there, or open that door to the booth and then let it suck out the exhaust out the side of the door. If we have a Honda front wheel drive, the exhaust will go out the back. A lot of different options. Really trying to figure out where is the right spot. But overall, I would just like to get it unloaded, and I would like to at least kind of set it up in this area, and maybe we could use ramps for it, because I am gonna keep it above ground. I don't wanna dig a hole in here, because then let's say if we move out of the shop in, you know, 6 months or a year or 10 years, then I'll have to bury that hole. So as of right now, I just want to get it off the trailer so that way I could continue using this side of the shop. My C6 Z06 Corvette has been sitting over here for probably at least 2 months. I haven't moved it, haven't touched it, haven't even thought about it. It's just sitting over here. So let's see if it fires up and if it rips. I forgot how cool that thing sounds. What do you think of it?
Is it noisy?
You like it? She got a little scared, but hey, what do you think of that? Sounds good, huh? Good. Hey, what do you think?
What,
Dyno?
right here?
Right here, and then a 4-post lift to get on it, and then I could still put 2 cars right here. Not bad, right?
Yeah, I think this is your only option.
It's not yours, it's mine!
It's your what?
It's my fire truck!
Ooh.
Fire truck. I want my fire truck. It's not yours, it's mine!
Whose is it?
It's mine. It's mine!
Hey, how about this? It's mine.
No!
It's mine.
No, it's mine.
So the dyno has made its way off of the trailer and it is sitting officially in the shop. So now we have 2 of these pallet jacks. I have one on this end and we're gonna do one on this end. So thought process, this big metal piece, well, this whole side of the dyno, that's like a 3.5, 4 foot section. So this will kind of be lined up with the door, the rollers, so rollers here. I thought about putting this on this side. That gives us a little bit more room over here. Then we kind of lose access to our pallet racks, which are over here on this side of the building. So I'm not sure. It's kind of an interesting thing, but yeah, if we had this sticking over, because if we kept it in line with the door, then that whole 4 foot section would pretty much be right here where you couldn't walk. There's not gonna be an aisle, and especially now that there's gonna be a 4-post lift in this bay, it's gonna be kind of a weird deal. So I think, you know, eating up a little space right here will be kind of suck, but I think at the same time it should be okay. We should be able to put like the dyno computer and all that stuff right here as well. Over here on this wall we have some 220 outlet, some power right there, so we should be able to run the cables and stuff like down along this side up over there and plug into that stuff. Is kind of thought process. So how is that thing lifting it? Yeah. We got Mick, the landlord, over here. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, are you excited for some dyno pulls?
I don't think my Porsche will be on here.
Yeah, so he has a Porsche, and eventually that thing will be over here. All right, so we move the dyno back just a little bit more, kind of more so in the middle of the building. So this is 25 feet from here to there. This whole building is 50 by 100. So 50 this way and then 100 that way. Oh, you want me to hold you? Okay. This kid, how old are you? How old are you? Say I'm 2. She's 2.5. But the dyno is kind of in its spot. We have it still sitting up on some pieces of wood just because it does need like officially bolted down. Don't have any ramps or anything. Obviously this thing was in the ground when we picked it up, but I do want to leave it.
Can we go up there?
You could stand right here, but don't pinch your leg. Okay. So I was like, okay, well maybe like we could use the 2-car trailer, literally load a car on that thing and then drive it off of that onto here. It could be a temporary option just to get a car on the dyno if we want to do it, but overall I think we need at least some 12-foot ramps or a 4-post lift, which is a very common thing. I don't have anything hooked up as far as the computer or any of that stuff yet. That will be probably the next video. So that will be the next video. Let me know what you guys think we should put on the dyno first. My truck is kind of slow. I would definitely like to dyno it here soon. I have a buddy that is going to come by, help us tune it, and I think what a perfect example. Also, we just did get off of Steve's dyno with the giveaway Civic, so it would be kind of cool to see how much power it makes on this dyno compared to his dyno. But I have a lot of stuff to learn with this whole thing in general, and I am super, super stoked. Again, the model of this thing is a MD 250, so a Mustang Dyno 250, and I think it was manufactured in 2001. If you have not got entered for a chance to win the Civic, click the link in the description below. That ends at the end of this month on March 31st. Appreciate you guys watching this video. If you guys are stoked on this dyno, I know I am super, super stoked on this thing. Obviously, I am not a tuner. I'm not a pro tuner. I like messing with things. I will probably mess with my cars a lot and just playing with a lot of things, but like I'm not like gonna be open to the public tuning things, but it opens the possibility to like renting this dyno, doing dyno days. If any local tuner wants to come in here and rent it from me, or somebody just wants to do some power pulls on their on this dyno, it'd be kind of cool. I think it's awesome to be able to make some content on this thing. So appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one.